Hey you guys, come along with me for another Barnes & Noble trip. First thing that I saw was this book here. I've seen this all over my TikTok. Here's a little bit of an explanation on the book. Beautiful sprayed edges. This book also sounded really interesting. If you don't want to get the Barnes & Noble edition, they have special edition ones on Mercari with sprayed edges. But yeah, if you've read this, let me know. I found this book here and the Book of Doors. I also found this one. All of these books sound really super interesting. They also had this new release here. The first one is on a different table that I'll show you later. They also had City of Stardust here. I got my hands on the Fairy Loot version, but this cover is still just as stunning. I love this table. I've seen Wayward all over my book talk. If you've read this, please let me know. There was honestly quite a bit on this table that caught my eye. I mean, I love a good witch story, honestly. This book sounded good as well, and then they also had a Book of Thorns and The Lost Apothecary. The Once and Future Witches also sounded really super interesting. I mean, all of these covers are stunning. And you know we had to make a stop at the rom-com table. There were so many book talk favorites on here. There was a Fairy Loot edition of The Fake Mate, but I thought it was really cool that they had this on this table. I just added this and the second book onto my TBR. It honestly sounds so cute. And just a bunch of other really popular book talk favorites that I've seen. If you've read any of these, please let me know. And this is the other side of the table. Lots of really cute covers. I'm honestly really loving the color schemes of it all. They also had a table for Emily Henry. She has a new release, A Funny Story. I love how bright and vibrant all of these book covers are. Her new release is currently 15% off at Barnes & Noble. I honestly really love this book cover, and I think that this title is just perfect for the book talkers. I also ran across this table, and I didn't even notice that this book right here is actually a VHS tape. Well, not literally, but it's packaged as such, and I think that it's so cool. I read the synopsis and it honestly sounds really interesting, so I picked it up. This table is definitely a table for you if you love the mystery thrillers. And I've actually seen a few of these on my book talk, so if you've read any of these and recommend them, let me know. And then here's the Fantasy Escapist table. I've seen a few of these books all over my book talk, but the ones that really caught my eye were Remedial Magic and A Letter to the Luminous Deep. I want to say the first time I saw this was at Target, and it sounded really interesting, and the cover is stunning. I added this stunning book to my TBR as well. They also had The Powerful and the Powerless table, of course. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. I know a lot of people are kind of struggling with the fact that Powerful and Powerless are two different sizes, but I think Powerful is just a novella, and I think the second book is coming out later. I've had my eye on this book for a while. It's cheaper on Amazon, but look at that flop. Oh my gosh, the most satisfying flop ever. They also had a table that was dedicated to the Twisted series. I haven't started it yet, but I'm excited to. And again, I had to show off the table full of all the great reads. Like, is it getting hot in here? Yes. I've seen a lot of these all over my book talk, and I really just don't even know where to start. And then here's the other side of the table. Lots of really popular reads that I've seen all over book talk again. So if you've read any of these, please let me know. This one is definitely at the top of my list to read. And you know, they still have the Fourth Wing and Iron Flame table here, along with a couple accessories. They have the Crescent City series. And of course, you know, we had to show off the ACOTAR series. They also had the Romantasy table. I actually picked up Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows on Amazon because they were $11 a piece. This book sounded really interesting and the cover is just stunning, so I picked this one up. They also had these popular reads on the other side of the table. I still have this book on my TBR. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but mostly good things. And here's the second one to the duology. I also feel like everybody is reading this book. If you're currently reading it, let me know what you think. They also have this Barnes & Noble edition here. I think it's a beautiful cover. And then there's this book here. This is the second one to A Not So Meet Cute. Also, Curves for Days. I mean, yes, me too. I showed this book last time and I still really want to read it. It sounds like a cute read. They still had these Barnes & Noble exclusives of the If Only I Had Told Her. I haven't read them yet, but I've heard great things. This was the YA table, and the one that caught my eye is Curious Tides. I read the synopsis and it honestly sounded really interesting, plus the cover is just stunning. So you better believe that I added this onto my wish list, which also helps me keep track of what's on my TBR. I've seen a couple book talkers talk about these books, so if you have any opinions or suggestions, let me know. Reading one book is like eating one potato chip. I absolutely loved this table. Lots of really interesting reads. They had this Compass and Blade, which has caught my eye a few times. They also still had this exclusive here, which is stunning, and a couple other books that we've seen before. I've never seen these two books here before, so if you've heard of them or read them, let me know about it. This was the other side of that table. A few of these I already have on my TBR and my wish list. I heard lots of really good things about this series. So again, if you've read it, let me know your thoughts and opinions on them. And then here's the rest of this table here. Lots of books that I've seen before and a couple books that I've seen on my book talk too. Lore Olympus has caught my eye several times and I'm so curious about it. So if you've read them, comment and let me know below. I've heard really good things about this book. I don't know why I keep passing it up. I also really want to pick this book up at some point too. It sounds really interesting. I still really love the UK versions of the Magnolia Park series. Eventually I'll read these. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this book too. Some people hate it and some people love it. I also really love how clever these book titles are, like The Witches Get Stitches, Resting Witch Face, and then Grim and Barrett. So funny and so cute. And then here's their cozy fantasy shelf. All of these covers are honestly so stunning. There's a few books on this cozy fantasy shelf that I would really love to pick up. This book catches my eye every single time because how stunning is this? The colors, the book, just everything about it. I love it. And the flop. Always the flop. This book is still on my TBR. I've heard really great things about it as well. I also didn't realize that the Emily Wilds book had uncut pages. Like, oh my gosh. I love it. I also randomly came across this book, Dirty Lying Fairies. It also kind of sounded like this author was an indie author, so I think it's really cool that I found this here. Randomly came across this book too, and I love the cover. It sounded like an interesting read as well. We also found these books here. I think that these are so cool. They're like cookbooks for anime, The Witcher, Genshin Impact, Dragon Age and World of Warcraft, Star Wars. They even had God of War and the Marvel universe. I mean, Deadpool serving Deadpool, come on. They also had Super Mario, Sonic. They had Avatar, the Studio Ghibli cookbook, just lots of really cool stuff. I haven't started the Shatter Me series either, but I just really think that these covers are so beautiful. I mean, look at that. These books also caught my eye. I've never heard of them, but they looked interesting. I've heard of mixed reviews on this book, but I still want to read it. We also found this special edition Dance of Thieves Barnes & Noble exclusive. It has foiled edges. I mean, this book is just stunning. And then here's their Dark Academia table, Murder and Mischief shelf. But anyway, that was it. Thanks for coming with us on this Barnes & Noble trip. Bye.